Welcome back, guys, and anyone new to the channel, welcome. Right, today I'm not doing exactly doing a turning as making something. I've been asked a few questions now about the 12mm AU cutter and the chisel it's mounted on. Now, if you've been on the website, you'll know that I do a deep hollower with I do a 9mm cutter, 10mm AU, and a 12mm AU. This being the 12mm AU one. Okay, it's on a 16mm bar, so it makes it quite a chunky. It's a very heavyweight chisel. This one's just got I played around with some things. I've done a bit of airbrushing on this handle, just wanted to make it different, so it stood out different, easy to pick out. Right, so the 12mm, this is probably, I'd have to say, the closest you'd come to having a carbide bowl gouge. It is not used like any other carbide chisel. You never push it flat. If anyone tells you carbide, anchor, flat, push in, if you're going to do it with this chisel, please video it and send me a copy, because I'd love to put it on my channel to say this is what you don't do. Don't ever, for any reason, put this flat and push it in. You will get one hell of a catch, I'm telling you. So that's the safety bit done. Right, this is fantastic chisel, it's lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how you use this for bolts. It is not for spindle turning. It doesn't do anything for spindle work. It is just for bolt turning. Okay. Now, I've got, as I said, I've got it on that. That's a bit big for what I'm doing today. That one. I'll do it on a shorter bar, but I've made myself one up on a 12mm round bar, which I will make available if anyone wants one. Okay. And this is a 12mm AU cutter on a 12mm round bar. Now, what I'm going to do today, I've got a piece of wood here. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what it is, whether it's a bit of beech or a bit of lime or whatever. Right, it's 5 inches by 5 inches, 3 inches thick. Okay, and as you can see, that's quite out of shape. Okay, it's all over the place. That I've put a glue block on the back. Not how I'd normally start. I would normally put this between centres. I'd use one of these big step centres. I would put it between centres and I would turn it to round, rather than mess about doing it on a bandsaw. I'd just turn it to round. I've put that on the back because I want to do a recess on the front and be able to turn it round. So once I get this round, I want to be able to move the tailstock away and put a recess in so I can turn it round. I'll take that off, just part that off, and then I can hollow it out. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm just going to show you how, using the 12mm AU, you can bring this to round, get it all in shape without getting beaten up by the wood, your tool bouncing all over the place, and without any problems really. So I'm going to get this mounted onto the chuck. And Lisa will bring you around this side so you can see. Right, so I've put it on. Right, that's held in there. Okay. Now, what I like to do before I tighten up fully, I'm going to bring the tailstock up, because this bit of wood is totally out from what the centres were on it. Right, I'm using a step centre here, just gives me a nice bit of grip. And right, I've tightened down on that, and there you go. So I'm basically held between centres, but I've got it in the chuck just to make it easier for me. Right, so I'm going to change out my tool rest, because I've got my big one on there. Right, now then, I'm going to be bringing my tool rest in, because we're going to be working from this side round. That's actually a bit, hang on, I'm going to go for an even smaller tool rest, because that's a bit in my way. There we go, that's going to be a better one. Okay, because what I want to do is I want to start by taking the corners off. Right, that's going to do me. Right, I'm basically going to bring this to round. It should have come to there. There, get that there. Yeah, it goes just off. It's not quite the square, so right, there you go. I'm basically just going to bring it to round. I'm going to take these corners off and take them away and bring it round slightly. Okay, so I'm going to get the face mask on. Always turn with a face shield. Right, and like I say, when you use this chisel, never ever go in flat. We've got to bring it round here. Now you can see I'm on centre. I'm going to be actually working above, so I'm going to be working up here with this. I'm going to be coming round, okay, like this. And I'm going to show how you're not going to get beaten up. Now for holding the tool, you just want your thumb on there and your fingers here just to bring pressure down. You don't want this. This is just going to, you're going to hold it too tight, and it's just going to transmit everything back into your arms. You want to be nice and light and just come round with it, okay? So I'm at a slow speed. We're going to start up, see what we can get up to. I say it's quite out of balance, this, but that sort of speed is no good to me, not with carbide. Right, I'm at 1850, so I'm going to start with that. Okay, so down here, come in, nice and gentle. Right, I'll stop that for a second. Now you can see already, look, how I'm getting those corners away. Okay, now with this, sorry, with the AU, the 12mm, keep the camera zoomed in for me. I want it on the tip of the chisel. Right, this has a very shallow bevel. It's only about 10 degrees. That bevel, okay, so it is nearly straight. So when I'm coming here on the side, where a lot of the time, if you're doing that with a bowl gouge, let me just grab a bowl gouge. If I'm coming round on the side with a bowl gouge like that, I'll tend to be scraping. That's what I'm doing. I'm scraping because I'm only using the wheel. I can't be riding that bevel. I can when I come round here, but I'd have to be right. I can't get round to push. It just wouldn't be working the same, okay? So I'd have to be up high. I can get it there, but I'm in danger of getting a catch again when I'm there because of the way the cutters present, the cutting edge is presented. Right, but with this one, because I've got that bevel, I'm actually riding the bevel. And look. You can see what I'm getting. Can you see that? I've got the tool at the side. I'm not scraping. I'm actually riding that bevel and I'm cutting. And that's why I can get this clean finish. I'm going to get a bit of there because that's end grain. And that's not the way I would be cutting it. Okay? But let's carry on anyway. Let's get my mask on. Enough talking. I'm meant to be showing you how this works. Right, so the main thing with this, stop regularly. Get your tool rest in, okay? Keep the tool rest as close as you can all the time. All the time that's nice and close. There's no danger. If you get anything here, the most it's going to do is going to push you down like that. You're not going to get any catches. If you start doing this sort of thing, okay? If you get a catch, that's got all that leverage. It wants to pull you down in there, okay? When you've got that, I always say, if you can get your finger between there, then your tool rest is too far away. Now, I know in certain times you have to have it a little bit further back, but when you can, get it as close, because if I'm there, if I get a catch, the most that's ever going to do is just push me back off the rest. I can't, look, the chisel can't even fit down there, okay? So let's start up again. Now, I know this is all running all right, so I'm going to get a little bit more speed for myself. And I'm just over 2,000 RPM now. Now I'm not like this. Can you get on to see how I'm holding the chisel? Right, I'm not doing none of this. Get it into your body, here. Just gently hold it there, nice and light. Just, you don't want the tool to skip back on you. Now I'm not like this. Can you get on to see how I'm holding the chisel? Right, I'm not doing none of this. Get it into your body, here. Just gently hold it there, nice and light. Just, you don't want the tool to skip back on you. Right,
I can adjust the aggressiveness just by rolling the chisel. If I roll it that way, I get a bit more aggression. Come that way, a bit softer. It's like having a switch. You can just turn it on and off. So I can come here nice and soft, turn it over a bit, aggressive. You can see how the cut just, if I'm coming there, I've got this cut. If I turn it, I start to get a deeper cut, okay? So I've got to concentrate on what I'm doing now. Right. You just put your tool under your arm. Now, if you get, can you hear every now and again? I'll go here and I'll get that. Bum, 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 bum. If I'm getting that, that's because I'm not riding the bevel. Okay, if I get this, right, I'm not riding the bevel, so just get it right. There you go. Once you're riding the bevel, right, let's bring it in again. Nice and close, can't get a finger down there. See, again, and there, bouncing. So that's because I'm on the cutter and I'm not riding the bevel. You ride the bevel, you won't get the bounce. That noise is because the wood's still square, that's not the bevel. Now I would normally just, I would come around this way and start cutting from here, but I don't want to be in the way of the camera, so I'm going to stay this side, okay? I'd normally just turn to go left-handed and cut that way. And as you see, you can see how high I am above centre. There's centre's down there, and I'm cutting up here. Now to stop breakout, I'm going to come this way. Right, let's have a look at how we're doing anyway. Well, we're not far off round, look at that. We're getting there. Little way to go. Quite a nice finish on that, quite pleased with that. Now, see another thing that's, another beauty with the carbide. The bevel on here is the same no matter which way I am round with the cutter. If I'm round here, I've got the bevel is the same. I'm still riding that bevel. I can cut this way, and I mean you can see straight away, look, I'm cutting. Look at that. Can you zoom in on that, or can you see it?
Yeah.
Right, look, I'm on the bevel and I'm cutting straight away. If I come this way, I'm on the bevel and I'm cutting again. Look, I'm cutting. If I come this way, I'm on the same bevel and I'm cutting. A little bit awkward to show you on that grain there, but I'm cutting. Right, so the beauty with the carbide is my bevel is the same whether I'm coming that way, whether I'm coming this way, whether I'm going that way. It's the same. My bevel is the same all the way around, like that. The only time you never want to be is that way, because that will go like that. Look, that is solid. Never ever go that way. That way, fine, it's like butter. That way, you're asking for serious trouble. Never ever think you can use this as a scraper. And a lot of the time these are put onto bars and they're presented so you would use them like this, okay?
pretty much how a lot of them use the 8mm and 6mm cutters. And as you know, if you've used one of them, it makes them very, very aggressive. You get a lot of grooves and everything. It's better if you can work off either the front or the side and use the bevel. Use that bevel, okay? Right, let me finish just rounding this off.
I'll bring my tool rest in a little bit more. Nice and close. Right, continue this way for a minute. And come back this way. As you can see, I'm still riding my bevel. I can adjust the aggressiveness. You can see the shavings I'm getting. Not quite round, nearly. Not quite, very nearly, sorry. I'm just going to get this, there, that's round, that's round. Right, I'm going to pick up that cut. I'm going to twist the tool slightly. So I'm coming in, I'm going to twist it slightly, get a bit more aggressive. Riding that bevel, losing that contact, you know, got to come round a little bit. But I've got something sticky on my tool rest there. There we go. Right, okay. I'll stop that. We're now round. Right, now I don't know whether you can get that finished there. On that. And that's straight off the tool. And as you can see, that wasn't a nice, neat, round piece. Now this is all end grain at the side here. That's a bit of side grain, very smooth. Bit of end grain there. That would clean up all right. That wouldn't take too much sanding out. Okay, right, and now because I've got it on the glue block, I can turn around and put a recess on the bottom. Now I like recesses mainly because it means I can always remount the bowl. I don't have to turn it round and remount it when I finish. If you finish off the bottom when you put the recess in, before you turn it round and hollow, it's done, it's finished. No messing about. Right, so I'm going to take that out, so I won't be needing that now. I'm going to move my tool rest right out the way. Sorry, don't. Right out the way there. Okay. Right, so now I'm going to bring my tool rest round, and I want to put just going to put a recess in the bottom here. Okay. Now my recess is, I'm sort of 50mm, so I'm going to be a bit over 50mm. I'm going to actually mark this one with a pencil. You right there?
Yeah.
So that would be 50. I'm going to go for 55, I think. So I'm going to go there. So I think that should be all right for my recess. Give or take a little bit. Right, so let's get started up again. Parting tool. Right, I'm just going to use the parting tool to come in. I'm going to go a little bit deeper than what I would normally, because I'm going to be following. And as I said, I'm not finishing this bowl. I'm not finishing this bowl. This ain't going to be a pretty. I'm just demonstrating what we're doing now. I'm just going to go over to my 9mm round, just take this bit out. Okay. Right, okay. And I'm gonna, as I said, I have a tool that is sharpened up just to do that. Okay, and now I can clean that bottom up that little bit. Right, that is for my jaws, and this tool, that is its job. It's never used for anything else. That's all that tool ever does. And then it gets put away. Right. So now, what I'll do is I'll do a quick. You see, the 12mm AU, you can use it for a push cut. Like that. Beautiful smooth finish. As I said, I'm not finishing the bowl off. I'm just doing this to show. I mean, look, that finish, you can see. And I know people say, oh yeah, well I can get over my bowl gouge, yeah, but this isn't a bowl gouge. This is a carbide chisel. I can get that with a bowl gouge. There's a lot of people that haven't got a bowl gouge, or for whatever reason, some people just literally do not have the room in their sheds to put a grinder and stuff like that. A lot of people can't afford to have a grinder and stuff. A lot of people just want to do a bit of turning. A lot of people might only want to go out there once a week and do a little bit. They don't want to spend their time sharpening and things like that. If they turn, that's it, beautiful, look at that. I love a recess. Perfect. A lot of people, if they're out there and they might only get to turn once a week or something like that. I mean, set of carbide chisels, they're going to have a year before they even have to think about sharpening or anything. They certainly won't be changing the blades. If you turn once a week, well, you won't ever be replacing your carbide tips. Not if you're using them properly. If you use them like I show you how to use them, then you won't be wearing them out. If you're going to be plunging them in as scrapers, well then you're going to be wearing them out. Right, parting tool. I'm going to use a parting tool to take this off first, otherwise I'm just going to be going for ages with it, alright? There we go. See, with a carbide parting tool, I don't need no relief cuts. I can just go in one go. I don't need a relief cut. Okay, that gives me a relief cut. That tip. Right, that goes forward. Right, there we are. So that's off. Now we're ready to do some hollowing. Now, ideally, a best way is to put in a depth hole. Give you an idea of how far you want to go in. Just mark your drill bit. Easy way to do is if you get a drill bit, I want to go down to there. So you put a bit of tape around there, then drill in, and then you know when you get to the bottom of that, you're at your depth. But I'm not over worried on that because I'm just showing what to do. Now, we also have on here the 10mm AU. Okay, now this works exactly the same way. It's just a smaller cutter. So basically what you've got here, what you've got with these two, you've got a 3/8 bowl gouge, and you've got a 1/2 inch bowl gouge in carbide. Okay, they're not to replace bowl gouges, not in any way. So before people jump on the bandwagon of, they're not to replace it. But if you haven't got a bowl gouge, you don't want to buy sharpening jigs, you're not able to sharpen. Some people can't. Some people have had 20 driving tests and still can't pass their test because they just cannot drive. Some people cannot sharpen. And it's all right for you guys to jump on and say, learn to sharpen, do this, do that. Some people can't get it. Just think for those people. They still have a right to do some wood turning, have a hobby, have a bit of fun. Might just not want to go through all that hassle. They want to go out there and just make something. And that's all they want to do on their weekends. And these two chisels can give it to you. Right, the 10mm, it works exactly the same. You've got a very short, you can push cut. When you do push cut, obviously you've got to come around quite a bit to run your bevel in, because it is a very steep bevel. Like I said, it's literally like 10 degrees angle on that. Okay, so you haven't got your 40 degree or your 55 degree bevel. You've literally got a 10 degree, but it makes it fantastic when you come to go around the bottom of a bowl, because you can ride that bevel right around the bottom. Just means if you're coming in, you have got to start right over here and follow around. But because of the bevel you've got, it makes it fantastic for pull cuts. Okay, because you can ride that bevel. What you'll tend to find is if you're pull cutting with a bowl gouge, you're not riding your bevel. You're scraping. You're tending to use that tip, and you're pulling across here. You're not riding your bevel. You are when you're pushing in, but you're not when you're doing this pull cut. So the benefit you'll get from one of these is when you're doing a pull cut, you're actually riding your bevel. Okay, so you can control it a lot better. You get a lot better cut, a lot better finish. Right, so we're going to start off, and I'm going to go between the two tools just to show how the two tools work. Yep, all held nice. Right, start off with a 12mm. I'm actually a bit high here. Yeah, I'm on centre. See now, although my chisel is where it is, and I'm out in front, which also makes it good if you have your lathe against the wall. Some people haven't got this swing to come over here. But I'm actually riding the bevel there. I'm actually riding my bevel on that to come just there. And that's all I've got to do. Now, again, I can have it there, I can turn it, I can adjust the aggressiveness. And you can see that's quite a bit of wood I'm shifting. I can adjust the aggressiveness of it. And yes, I can push. I can come in, roll it. Do a little push cut. Okay? The 10mm is exactly the same. The 10mm can be a little bit more aggressive because it's a smaller cutter, obviously. And the same when I'm here, I'm riding the bevel. I can come in again and do a push cut. Now when you come in, like I've said before, if you come in like this on this edge, what you're going to get, look, it wants to skip, it wants to come back. It's not bad with this, but it does want to come back. Now, don't ever come in flat and think I'll start it like that way. If you do that, it's nothing to do with me. I've told you so many times. Put your cutters dead straight. Close the flute like that. That's what they tell you, close your flute. You ain't got a flute on this, so just turn it off. Okay, this is like it's, think of it as being electric. That's off, that's on. Right, that's too much power. So that's off, that's on. You come in, off, turn it on, and push. Okay, and there I'm riding the bevel, just there. That's the bevel, and look how straight my chisel can be. But obviously, when I'm going in deep, I've got to be round here to be able to ride that bevel and come in. Okay, there's the bevel rubbing. Now I'm getting a bit bulky now. I'm taking way too much of a bigger cut. But by rolling the tool, I can do it. Now coming round to the front, I'm going to turn it off a little bit. Now I'm going to turn it back on, and into the middle, open it up. Right. And there you go. Now that's quite an aggressive cut to take. That's a big cut. Okay? But what you can see there is the finish I'm getting. But a little bit of tear just here. That's where there's going to be a problem area. Okay? This is because I've pulled out. That'll take one pass as a pushing cut, and that'll take all this fluff away. Now a lot of you have probably seen the hollowing tools. I mean like this type. Are they doing with a 6mm cutter? I've not even bothered with a 6mm cutter. I mean, I made this one up myself. Okay, it's one of my bars, and I have it. It's got an 8mm cutter on it. Makes it quite aggressive. It's good for shifting wood very quick. Okay, but again, it's got a very short bevel, and you can ride the bevel if you use it that way. If you just use it for going in hogging wood, it's not going to give you a very nice finish. It's going to be very aggressive, very grabby, but it will remove the wood fast. Okay, but I mean, I haven't even got a handle on this one, but you can come in and get quite an aggressive cut. You can get a lot, you can move a lot of wood. Okay, you can move a lot of wood like this. Now this is the 8mm. This is the 8mm cutter. Now I don't do these for sale because there's a lot of them out there. A lot of people do them. I'm not naming tool brands. You all know the people that do them. They do a 6mm as well. I find that just too aggressive. I'm never in that much of a hurry to hog wood out. Okay, and for experienced turners, yes. For new turners, no. Okay. Not at all. As I said, I do the deep hollower, which comes on the 16mm bar, but for something little like this, it tends to be, it's a bit big. Okay, but again, it works exactly the same. But it's a big, heavy tool. But even though, I mean, I'm hogging out a lot of wood there. Right now, as you can see, that's on the 16mm bar. This is a big heavy chisel. This is lovely to use. And as you can see, that's my grip. Don't do that. I don't ever want to see people doing that with one of my tools. That's not what they're designed to be used like. You don't need it. White knuckles are not allowed, okay? You don't need to do that. If you do that, everything that happened goes into this hand and on the tool rest. You don't get no feel. If you do this, look, nice and light, there and there, okay? The tool tells you what's happening. You can feel everything. It talks to you. It tells you what's happening. You can feel the slightest change. You can feel if there's a crack. The minute there's a crack there, you'll know. You'll feel the difference. Okay? It tells you what's happening. You'll know if you're going to get a catch. You can feel it before it happens and you can back off slightly. Okay? And as much as I'm moving that wood, and this tool can work right down this deep. You can work this tool this deep. Okay? Without grabbing. As long as you control. You've got a speed control. Okay? That's nothing. That's slow. That's too fast. Back it up. Stay there and you're fine. Okay, and you can see that's hogging a lot of wood away. Okay, that's hogging a lot of wood very quickly for a 12mm cutter. They're a fantastic tool. If you're into doing bowls and the hollowing of bowls, fantastic tool. But as I said, nice and light, just here. I'm only holding my handle down here. I'm not at the end of it. I don't need to do that. Come in. I mean, for me, and look, you can see the shavings I'm getting here. They're all shavings. I don't want to be hogging out as quick as that. If I'm going down, if I'm turning for play, right, maybe if you're hogging out green bowls, you want to rough down a load of green bowls ready. If it's work, but then you won't be using these tools. You'll have your tools for doing that. You'll have your big bowl gouges. I've got all these ones for doing that sort of work. You know, big 3/4 inch one. If I want to get in there and hog that wood out as quick as that, I've got it. I've got a big 1 inch one. Look at that. Look at that tool. I mean, that, I wouldn't even put it in a bowl this size, but beautiful tool, look. Beautiful cut, lovely sharp tool. But not everyone's got one of those. But if you're into that sort of thing, you will have these tools. So these are not for you. So you've got no need to be considering this or watching this. But if you're just the average person who wants to do a bit of turning and don't want all the expense, you can have a 3/8 bowl gouge and a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. These will do whatever a bowl gouge will do. But you can't push it and shove it. There's no anchor, shove and scrape, not with these tools. So I just want to enjoy it, enjoy the process. Okay, and that's how we're coming. The only thing, as you start to get over the tool rest, there's no bounce, there's none of that. You never see my tools doing that. Right. There's no bouncing. The only problem I get is as I get deeper, I ain't got room to get my fingers between the end of the handle and the tool rest. But that's why I made these handles up, because I can just unscrew and extend my bar a little bit. I'm getting a bit deeper there. I don't know how deep. I've got to remember I've got, oh yeah, I've got a recess in the bottom, so I'm not going to be able to go much deeper than that. I'm going to do another pass. So what I want to do is come right the way round. I want to bring that cut right the way out. See, all the time I'm coming off that tip of that cutter there. Okay, now as I said, the beauty of this is I can ride the bevel coming in the bottom, and all I want to do is come in. I'm not taking no steps away because I'm there already. Just want to finish that a little bit. I've got a little bump there, but although it can do all that hogging, it can be a very gentle tool as well. Right, I've got a little bump there. Nearly gone. Little finished cut there. Oh, little skip back. See, that's because I'm coming in on the angle there. So I've got the little skip back. Now if I turn it that way and then do it, no skip back, okay? So turn it off, turn it on, and come back, okay? So I've just put a little chamfer in on that. There we go. Right, I think that's just filled up the sawdust there. Right, that's it. That's all I'm doing anyway. I'm not turning the bar. I was just going to show you that. That's it. Right, now, a little bit of grain tear there. Probably clear that if I went in for a push cut. But I'm not showing it to do an actual finish. I could go a little bit deep. I've got about ½ inch on the bottom there, so I could go a bit deeper. But I just wanted to show you how you saw the bit of wood that I started with, okay? And this is what I finished with. And this is the finish off of carbide tool, and this is all end grain. It's quite a grainy piece of wood, this. That finish a bit, that's going to be one of those where you're always going to get that little discolour there, okay? Like I showed the other day. For that, quite easily, I would put on my 15mm negative rate round scraper, round scrape. You've got me saying it now, all you scraper people. That, you know, this is that is a scraper, okay? That's a scraper. This here, this is a carbide chisel. If I was in my workshop and I said, here, can you pass me that scraper? And you handed me one of those, I'd bloody throw it at you. You'd learn what it is then. That is a scraper, okay? A negative rate scraper. That 90% of turners you'll see will come in and clean their bowl up with one of those, okay? Now, if I was going to clean that up now, I'd probably go over to the 15mm round chisel with a negative rake, get an extra 500 RPM on there, go up to about 2,500, and I'd give that a nice clean little pass, and that would clean that end grain up lovely. So you can do, if you've got the carbide chisels, you have a negative rate scraper, because you can put a negative rate cutter on and you can use it as a scraper. If you just push them in flat and want to use them as a scraper, you can. So many people, they use that. They use their skew chisel as a negative rate scraper. That doesn't mean it's a scraper. It's a skew chisel. It's just you're using it to do a specific job at that time and you're scraping. Not the best thing. I never use mine as a scraper because you just
roll the edge over. It's not what it's designed for. It's a skew. It's a very good tool. You know, there are tools out there to do those jobs. But anyway, I just wanted to explain that I haven't got it on my site on a 12mm bar at the moment, on a 12mm round bar. I have actually got it on the shear cut. Now, again, it's on the shear cut, it's already mounted at 45 degrees. Okay, so you just plane away, just go push cut, pull cut, you just go with it. Okay, it's already mounted 45 degree, no catching. Okay, you can't get a catch. If you push it in, you can't get a catch. Okay, if you roll it like that, yes. If you try just jamming it in at the side, yes. But if you come off the front of the tip, how it's designed to be used, and you just, if you've got your bow on and you just come in and you can just pull round like that, you can push cut, you can come in there and you can come around the bottom. It's already mounted at 45 degrees, so there's no catching. And that you can use that right up to the end of the bar, okay, to get in. And I do that, this is one of mine, it's on a 10mm bar. It comes, the shear cut SCH3, sorry, the SCH3 has a 12mm round cutter on it, on a 12mm square bar, 9-inch square bar. If you want it on the deep hollower, which I would highly recommend, that's the one you see me doing quite a bit of hogging there. That's on a 16mm bar, and that's 12 inches of bar. If you want a bigger tool, then contact me. I can always arrange to do something for you. Okay. Basically that's it. So, but that will be available. I'm going to do it. I've got so many tools at the moment on there. A lot of them I do for request. If you want it, one on, you've seen it today being used. If you want one on a 12mm bar, round bar, give me a shout. I'll make one up. You won't get one of these handles, okay, because they're not for sale. Those handles. These are just something I've made up. I've made up myself. That's beautiful, isn't it? Sorry. I love my new tool heads. I've made them because I like to adjust my bar. I like to have it in nice and close. If I'm working close, I'll pull it out. But I very rarely pull it out, actually. Even if I'm hollowing, you see, I just like to get in. I like to hold my handles up here all the time. But yeah, I just had a play about. I can't do it. I'd have to go into a whole new side of things for a metal lathe and all that. I've got a metal lathe, but it wouldn't handle what I do. I only have it for a little bit of hobby stuff for myself. So, but there's plenty of handles. If you've got a handle, it takes a 12mm bar, then obviously I can always supply you the bars. If you've already got a handle, I mean, I've got another handle actually. A friend's sending me. I should get it next week with a collet that can just take the bars. So if you've got one of those handles and it takes half inch, then it will take the half inch. If it takes a 16mm, then you can have the long bar, the big ones, and their slot in the end. But a 12mm bar, that if you do want them, then again contact me, drop me an email, and I'll always sort out with you, and I can make you up the bars if you want. Can do them to whatever length you want, and put whatever cutters on, and we can sort that out. So that's up to you. And they slot into your collet. There's just a 12mm round bar if you want them. So, but yeah, but I will do it if you want one and you want it on a normal handle, then I'll make one up for you. Okay, just email me, have a chat. Okay, even phone me up if you want. I won't answer because I never have your phone with me. So, or it's recording a video. So, but someone will normally answer it for me anyway. But it's best if you drop me an email. I'll always get back to you. But anyway, you saw this, what that piece of wood was. I'm not going to spend the time to finish it. If I was making this into a bowl, then I would have done a bit of sanding. I'd have a little bit of shallower recess on that, and I'd go a bit deeper with it, a bit thinner on the walls. But I just wanted to show you how you can do that with the shape of that wood and not get beaten up by it. Okay, you're not bouncing, there's no bouncing off. You don't have to be like that. Just present the tool right, present it so it can cut. Okay, and then it can cut. Help the tool to do its job. The tool does the work, you just have to steer it. So that's it. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So at the end of it, nothing much. I mean, if anyone wants to buy it, about 200 quid, you can have it. The wood's not worth that, but it was done by me. That makes it priceless. Right, anyway, enough waffling. Cheers, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Toodle pip.
Bye, guys.